Hi, this is Tessanne. Today I'm going to start a new video series on a little city builder survival game that I've been playing forever. It's called Banished. In fact, I looked up when I purchased this game on the Steam game platform, and I bought it December 11th, 2016. I've been playing it a really long time. Let's see how many hours I have. I have 2,536 hours in this game. But like I said, I've been playing it a really long time. I'm going to do consecutively 2 series on 2 separate playlists. One is going to be Banished with Megamod 0.07, and then I'm also going to do one with it without any mods. And I would suggest, if you purchase or you have this game and you start playing it, that you play for a little while without mods. I played it for quite a while without mods when I first started playing, because I didn't even know that you could get mods for it. Excuse me. And you need to get the rhythm of how the game plays in its simplicity, of how to keep your people alive, how they don't starve to death, how they don't freeze to death, because they'll do all of that. There's a little balancing act that you've got to get going when you're playing it. You'd think it's a simple little game, and I learned later that only one gentleman designed the game by himself. But there is this balancing act that you have to keep going, or they die, or they get inefficient. So I'm going to start the series, a new game, and we're going to do it, like I said, with the mod 0.07, and it's called Megamod 0.07, and I'll put a link in the description on where to get the mod. It used to be in the Steam Workshop in the mods, but they took it out for some reason. The most updated version, and you may want to play that, it's such a monster. It's in 7 different parts. Megamod 9, part 1 of 7, and you would just subscribe to them, but it's just it's massive. And I really fell in love with 0.07. I started off with this one, 0.06, and then later on, a year later or so, 0.07 came out, and I liked it better, mostly because I like the storage barns. They're like red barns. And I like everything to do with the dairy and all of that stuff. And it's not in 0.06. And for some reason, they removed 0.07 from the Steam Workshop. So if you end up using 0.07, you're going to have to go and download it and then add the PKM file to the game. And the way that you would do that is you would go to your Steam and right-click on Banished, go to Manage, Browse Local Files, and if you buy it directly from the gentleman who did it, who made the game, which you can do, you can go to his website and you can buy it directly from him through PayPal for $19.99. And but if you do it through Steam, you would right-click on Banished in your game library, and then when it go to Manage, and then let me do it again so I don't tell you wrong. Right-click on Banished in your Steam library, go to Manage, and go to Browse Local Files. Then you go to your downloads and you copy the Megamod 0.07. I believe it's just going to say Megamod. There won't be a 0.07. Then you go into your Win data, and then you would just paste it right into your Win data. It's a PKM file, and you'll see all kinds of PKM files in there. And then it'll put all the Megamod files in there, and then load your game. And then once you load your game, you go into mods, and then you would enable the mods. And this one says, I just did this one, in 0.07, the merchants will come up to your trader and your trader, and they'll sell you marijuana. And I've never been able to figure out how to get marijuana into the game so that I could sell it to the vendors and make my little town money. And I finally found something earlier this week, and in fact it says right here, place above CC, so it means I need to place it above Megamod. So I'm going to hit right here and put it to the top. And so the only mods that I have enabled, and if I unenable this, this will go unread. And so like these don't conflict with each other. But in order for you to be able to process the cannabis into marijuana, you have to have this mod. And it says basically it's saying place at top. So it's enabled, and so those are the only mods I play with. I like this soundtrack. That's the music that you hear in the background. It's just more calming than the music in the game. And so I have all of those set up. They're all enabled. They're ready to go. Then it's going to reset the game. And then it'll have the mods active, and so then it will be different than if you didn't have any mods active. And like I said, I'll start a video series and a separate playlist playing Banished in its vanilla form. And the way that I play, there's different options of what you can play, and the only way you're going to learn is just try them out. I mean, you can even do Adam and Eve, where you start with 2 people. But over time, I like lake waters because there's all these lakes all over the place. And I play with the largest map, very large. And then I've never seen a difference with the climate, so I just play with mild. You can play with disasters on, and they can be quite funny. I mean, a tornado will rip through the middle of your town and destroy all your houses and all of that stuff. I play with it off because I'm all into building up the little city and getting it all right, and then the disasters slow me down. So for now, I'll have them off. But what I do with starting conditions is I have found that I like this one the best, which is called Easy Farmers. And the reason why I like that one is because you get more seeds for crops, and you get more seeds for orchards. And I like playing the game with the food incorporated, and there's just more here because you're completely dependent on building a trading post, and more seeds and more animals can only be gotten from the merchant. So I think the game I'm currently playing now, I'm on year 68, and they finally brought leghorn chickens. It took 68 years of game time to get leghorn chickens. I think it was like 30 years before I got chickens. And chickens multiply really fast. I found that the two that multiply the fastest are chickens and pigs. And so that just means more food. But let's get started. You can randomize the name, and they're really silly names, and I just keep clicking on it until I find one that triggers for me another name. I like that one, Grissers. It's just simple. And then you can also randomize the seed. Now, you can look and Google for good seeds, but it's going to be dependent on what you put here. So I'm playing with lake waters, very large, mild, no disasters, and easy farmers. And these are all things that exist within the 0.07 mod. And so I've been playing around for a long time, and this map seed that I found recently it's massive, flat, and just ungodly amounts of resources. So it's 913196381. And I'll put that also in the description. And it is the best, I think, map seed that I have ever played with. Okay, enough chitter chatter. Let's get started. And the picture here, that's what all of, in the base game, the houses and stuff look like. And there's always like cute little messages down on the bottom, pollinating flowers. So the first thing you want to do when you come into the game is let them get their goodies so that it's out of the way. They all go load up with food and whatever, and then pause, which is the space bar. And then just take a look around, see that just all the different lakes, and it is WASD, so to move right and left are the WASD keys. So right is D, left is A, and then W and S, you know. And if you want to get back to your people, you go into this gear right here. When you first open up and pause the game, you go to this gear and you're going to want to push this. That's the general statistics of your town. How many people? You have 12 people, 0 in school, and 10 children. And you have a total of 22 people, and they don't have houses. And if they don't have a house, they can't get warm, and they can't eat. And so they'll freeze to death, and they'll starve to death. So that's your basic window. It's year 1. And then it tells you how much wood you have, how much stored fuel, and then it tells you how much food. So you start off with 1,600 food, so you need to really quickly get food going. And then you have a little bit of this. You have 18 tools and 10 clothes. So you have 22 people and only 10 clothes. And then it also tells you the temperature. It's 35 degrees. It's early spring. So what you put your basic window up, and then the next one is going to be a event log. And then right here, I always toggle this off. Otherwise, you're being dinged constantly with, you're low on tools, you're low on tools, you're low on tools, when you have 50, you know. So I turn that off so I don't have to listen to it. And then the next one, you can put this one up, which will give you a mini map. And see, so look, we've got 4 big lakes right there, and then another big lake over here. And then there's a stream, a river that goes through, and that's where the merchants come. But I don't put it up because I have so many windows open already. And so look at all the resources. There's just tons. So you've got here, you got your event log, and the next one that you're going to want to do is you can choose different mini map sizes. Is this one right here. And then I choose this one because it's and then I place it right here. And then you can place the windows wherever you want, what you're comfortable. But there's a ton of different ways that you can have, and this just tells you how many people you have in each job, and it helps you keep track of how many you have and how many you're missing. And so you're going to want, you have 12 people that can work. Now you want to make builders. I usually do 2. If you don't do builders, they won't build the buildings, of course. Now I've been zooming around the map and I don't know where my people are. So you just click right here on laborer and it will take you back to your people. And then you can actually follow them around, but you can see what's going on with them. So here's their name, Hobart Lee. They're a laborer. They're completely happy. Here's their gender, they're male. They have an iron tool. Their clothing is okay. They're 12 years old. And they are educated. And so if they're not educated, they don't work as effectively as if they are educated. So you want to, as soon as possible, get a school up so that all your children are educated. And so they start off with a warehouse, and they have coats, tools, and 1,600 potatoes. And then they have firewood, iron, logs, and stone. So the first thing you want to do is get them gathering resources. And I'm going to show you how I consistently begin the game to set myself up for success. So here's all of your tool windows, and in order to set them working, you're going to want to go to this one, which is removal and destruction tools. And you can have them remove just trees, you can have them remove stone, you can have them remove ore, or you can have them remove ore and stone together. What I do is just have them remove all of it. And you need to be careful when you're telling them, like if you were to do it here and you get over there, they're going to find a way to get there. And then they will go over there and they will die. So you need to make sure that you are careful where you tell them to collect. And I'm just going to tell them to collect right here in this little area where they're going to start off. Now, I have this right here over there. So cancel removal. I can go over here and I tell it not to do that. And they will find a way to get there. And that means they're going to have to go all the way around the map, and they're going to find a way to go across that water and then go all the way down over here and die. Because that's what will end up happening. Because if they don't have a house, they can't eat and they can't get warm. And that's what they're going to die from. So let's get them started right here. I hit the space bar, and then you can play from different speeds, from 2, 5, and all the way up to 10. And I end up playing on 10, but I'm going to make it stay on 2. And the sad part is I'm going to take off all of that because you can't put roads and stuff. So I'm just going to let them collect there. So if you put a road, they do move faster. So I'm going to start here and put a road here. Then I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go all the way to here. I learned when I started playing, I watched videos, and they call it the crossroad method. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go in right here. This is to increase priority. Under the wheel here is where all your goodies are. But here is increased priority. But this one, it's your resource limits. And I don't keep that window open. In the beginning, I just add zeros to log, stone, and iron. You want to leave fuel alone. You don't want to max it out, or they'll take all of the wood and make it into fuel. You want to max out materials and dry goods, food, health, and luxuries. And the ones that you want to increment up slowly are fuel, tools, and clothes. They start off with 50 of each, and fuel, 200. That way they'll collect. And see, they have nowhere to put it. So what I do in the beginning is, first you need to get down food. So you go to the apple, that's food, and you go to this first one, and you're going to want to put down a hunting cabin. And see, it has you hit R to turn it, and you can also hit F to change the way it looks. And so you want it down where that yellow circle is within, not out in the water, because that's the most effective. So where that circle is where the hunters will hunt for food. So we're going to place that there. Then we want to put in a gatherer's hut. And how you place these is how they'll build it. See, now they're coming over to build those two. And then I want them to be educated as quickly as possible. So that's town services, and then this school building. And there's all different types of schools. I think this is the base game. I like this one. It has 20 students, as does this one, but this one's just cute. And so I find where my things are, and then I hit R and I turn it so that I can put it on the road, and then I get the school down right away. That way they'll build the gatherer's hut, the hunting cabin, and then they'll build the school. And another thing that you want to do right away, and if you click on it and it closes it on whatever it is, and there's different things, and as soon as I get them safe, I'll go over what they are. So this is for resource production, and we want to do forest and logging. And then this is a basic one. And again, you can hit F and change the design. That's the base game one, but I like this one. So I'm going to find where my buildings are, and then I'm going to put this right beside it. And then I'm going to go to this one, which is storage. and I want to go to stockpiles, and I want to do a wood stockpile right behind the Forester's Lodge. And I just want to do a little one. And then the other thing that you want to do is you don't want them to freeze to death. So you want to get a woodcutter going as quickly as possible. And I believe that's the base game one, but I like this one, firewood yard. So I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to put it right here by the stockyard for wood I just put. And I'm going to put that, and then I'm going to go back to the stockyards, which are under storage, under stockpiles, and I'm going to do a fuel stockpile right beside the woodcutter, and then nothing but fuel will be there. Now I'm going to go back up here to this stockpile because they have nowhere to put it. And what they're collecting is wood, stone, and then iron. And let's see. That's what iron looks like. So that's actually iron. But there's other ones, and it'll look like a thing of black stone. I don't see any, so they're only collecting iron. But if you feel like it's getting out of hand, pause it while you build, which is usually always a smart idea. Now this is a stockpile, and so it's going to have everything in it. It's got some firewood right there, stone, and iron. And I don't see any iron ore. If they collect iron ore, it has to be processed. See, there's only 3 iron ore, and I don't even see it on there to point it out to you. And then there's 30 iron. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave that stockpile, and beside it we're going to do a wood stockpile right up against the road. We're going to start, and we're going to do 4 by 6. Just like that. We're going to do a wood stockpile, and we're going to do a stone stockpile. So against the road, there's the wood, move it over 1, and there is stone. Then we're going to do iron, and then we're going to do materials. And materials are when they process it, so it'll be like lumber and fuel and all those different things. And that doesn't look right. So I'm going to go here to the house, and I'm going to get rid of that because I didn't make it big enough. Six by 4. Now they'll start picking up all that material. And I have 12 laborers, and I have 2 builders. So the laborers are going to take all of the materials here, and then when the builders have all the material that they need, they will start building it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tell it to remove all the rock and stone. I'm going to start right here at this road, and I'm going to go like that, and then they'll remove all the rock and stone. And so they're, okay, right there, see right there? That's iron ore. So that has to be processed into iron, which is that right there. But the iron ore has to be processed. So you'd have to do some type of process machine. And see, they're putting the wood there, and then they're they'll start doing all of this stuff. And so I'm going to let them go ahead, and I'm going to keep designing because they have something to keep them busy. And so I'm going to put houses, and then this is the basis house, a log cabin, and these are all different houses that come with the Mega Mod. And my favorite to begin with is I do this little house. It has 2 stories. So I put down, and it's, see that where it's red, where it says little house? So we need to move down a little bit until we're not on this other building. See how this road is red right there? It's because we're on a building. See, so we need to move over until we're not on a building. And there we go. See how the little house is no longer red? So we need to put down the first story, and then see how this one goes over the top of it. So we have the first and second story. So we'll put, there's 22 people, so that's 2 separate houses. So we'll put like 4 of these, and that should be enough houses for to get us started. You don't want to build houses too fast, or they'll overpopulate, and then you'll have these massive die-offs. So you want to, in the beginning especially, slow down how fast they can move, because they will get married at 10, even though they're still in school. So you want to control how quickly you overpopulate. If you let them, if you put too many houses and then they have children, they all age up the same, and then all of a sudden in old age you'll have a massive die-off, and then you won't have any workers. So you want to increment your age, how they age. Otherwise you'll have massive die-offs, and then, you know, you won't have anyone to work your little buildings. I'm going to speed this up. See, they're starting to move. And so the first building you put down is the first building that they'll start putting the materials on. So first they had to remove 12 things. So they removed 6 things there, and now they're starting to add the materials. So they've added all the materials. Now the builder will start building, and he has to do 45 stripes. And like I said, we have 2 builders over here, and so you can add people through the building itself when it's finished building. Or this is a hunting cabin. So over here I'm going to go and I'm going to find the hunter. So herdsman, hunter, there. So this building, when it's finished, will hold 3 hunters. So I can either put it from here, 1, 2, 3, or I can put it over here and type it in. And so there, and now he will immediately start hunting for food. And if you click on this, I believe it'll take you to the hunter. And you can actually follow your little workers around. And they're supposed to be hunting, but they're still gathering materials. Looks like they gathered some kind of food, and we started off with 2 herds of cows. And they're just still gathering materials. So let's add to this. We have a hunting cabin. This is finished, and that can have 4. We can go over here and do it. And once you have a town hall, you can do it from the town hall. So gatherer 4, you can just type in 4 and do it that way. Or you can go 1, 2, 3, 4. And this will also tell you over here in this window, it'll tell you, you know that you have 4 gatherers in there, and it'll tell you when you get that the school's finished. So we'll get a teacher, and that way we may end up with 1 or 2 people uneducated, and they just work slow. And the forester lodge is done, so let's put 4 people in there. And so now we have 0 laborers left. So it's going to be a while before we have laborers. They have to graduate school first. So we have the basics up and going, and then there's the woodcutter. So we're going to drop 1 builder and put him as a woodcutter. And the fuel limit's 200. I'm going to up that to 500. And then we already did everything else. So we don't have to worry about anything but tools, clothes, and fuel. And so we have 8 clothes left. So we need to get a tailor. And you can find the tailor under refined resources. So under fabrics and fibers, these are all the different tailors. You can do one that is a tailor, and then it has a house above it. But you need to look first, what side does the house go, so you know how much room. And I'll go ahead and leave it there. So we'll go ahead and do a tailor with the house above it. And then we also want to do tools. And the one that I like is this one, Small Town Blacksmith. And it doesn't have a house. And so you want them to be as close. Oh look, they're dying. So they're starving to death. And that's how quickly it goes. It's winter, and boom, game over. Everybody died because they starved to death. We didn't move fast enough on getting food in. Well, look at that. They shouldn't have starved to death. Oh, they froze to death. Because I was going to say, I got food down in time, but they didn't get firewood fast enough, so they all froze to death. So game over. And you start over. And then I know what map seed I like. Pedal Sex. Well, Enochville. We'll do that one. And then everything defaults to where I already had it. So we're going to say okay and then start over. Now, this time, let's try and not have everybody freeze to death. And sometimes during winter, winter will come in autumn, and then they can't harvest the food because it all dissipates. So I'm going to just do the basics. I'm going to take it up to 5 speed. I'm going to open my windows. I'm going to shut off the annoying sound. I'm going to just go ahead and stop them. And I'm going to let them gather all this material here. Then I'm going to do, while it's paused, I'm going to do a road. And then I'm going to do a crossroad. Oh, it's going to let me go across that. That's weird. So we'll do that. Then, however you put the buildings down, don't forget to put your builders on. However you put the buildings down is how they're going to build them. So we want food first. So we want the hunter. And then we want it as much in the perimeter, not in the water. So we'll do the hunter, the gatherer, the teacher, did I just set down a school? I did. Alright, we got to remember to set this stuff or they won't be able to collect. So you want to leave tools and fuel alone and clothes alone. And just you can adjust it later to better numbers. But you want to leave fuel basic, tools basic, and clothes basic. So that's taken care of. So far we have a farmer and a gatherer. Now we want to do a teacher. And we want to also do a woodworker. And then we want to go to storage and we want to go to stockpiles and put wood. And then we want to do a woodworker. R turns buildings and F changes what it looks like. So we want it to go that way. And then if you hit F, you can change what it looks like. We'll do that one. And then we want to go back to stockpiles and we want to do a fuel stockpile. Now, let's start them back up and they all start with they'll start with the hunter's cabin. Oh, remember you got to put builders, which I did. Then we're going to go do this. So we're going to do a wood stockpile. I didn't do a road. We're going to do a wood stockpile. 6x4. Stone stockpile. 6x4. We're going to do an iron stockpile. And a material stockpile. they're going to want to do trading. So I'm going to go, here is fabrics, here is crafting and artisans. So I want to go lumber, construction, and materials, and I want to do a sawmill. Because you can get wood from here and put lumber there. And you can also force them to do priority. So I could tell them, do the woodcutter first, you know, because we know that they froze to death last time. So let's assume that it's going to be just as cold again. And I only prioritize this building and nothing else. So they'll go right back to the way they should be doing it, which will be hunter, gatherer, school. It would have been hunter, gatherer, school, forester lodge, then woodworker. But I had him do woodworker first. So our builder is here building. Now it's ready, and I'm going to get someone making firewood right away because they froze to death last time. Now the hunter's finished. And that's 1, 2, 3 hunters. Now they're putting the stuff down for the school. Finished building here. They finished the things, and they have tasks that they can be doing stuff. Now we should have got houses going too, but I was talking. So let's do the same house that we were doing. And a lot of times they'll disregard order because they want houses, and they'll start building houses right away even though they're supposed to be doing something else, and that's because they want more people. Teacher is done. Oh, I took the old style. 2, 3, 4. I got 3 people left. And, uh-oh. So let's take one away from the forester and put him in there. And everything's built, so we'll take down to 1 laborer. They've got 220 fuel, so they shouldn't freeze to death, and they have food, so they shouldn't starve to death. Let's increase the fuel limit to 300. Now, we have cows. We need to get them a pasture. So let's go to food and standard pasture. And I always do a 20 by 20. One person can take care of a 20 by 20. And again, R moves it. So I can have the thing. I like it there. So now they should start doing this because everything else is built. So they'll do that first. They'll do it in the order that it was placed. So I'm going to do a road. And I'm also going to do some crops because they're... So now look. Oh, that's the school. They haven't done the houses yet. It's autumn. So I'm going to move them along or they're going to die. For some reason they're not building these houses. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to go to crop field. And I make mine 10 by 10 because one person can harvest it and get it done. So 10 by 10. And there's the road. And there's the crop, so I can move and do 10 by 10. And I know that there's 4 crops, just because I know, because I've been playing it. So we want to look, they're going to freeze to death. It's autumn, but it's snowing. But they can all now go in this house and get warm because it's there. So they can use other people's houses. But there's one house so far, and a 20-year-old married a 15-year-old. And like I said, they get married at 10. The teacher lives there. The teacher's 13. And I'm going to hit it up to 10. And there's also only one storage shed. And so typically what I'll do is I'll do a hunter, a gatherer, a forester, a woodcutter, a school, and they like churches. So this is just the smallest church that I can find. You want to keep them happy. Right now they're completely happy, but their health is bad. So you can put down under town services, you have civic, school, church, and medicine. Eventually we want to put up a hospital, but right now if we put up a herbalist, they'll go to the herbalist and she'll give them medicine and it keeps them healthy. Okay, so we're down to 8 people, no houses, but they have these houses that are complete that they can go in and get warm. So in the very beginning here, it started snowing in autumn. So we know that that's probably how it's going to be the whole game. So you need to have crops harvested quickly. All right, we're already at an hour. So we've started our base game and everyone has a house. Almost. We'll go until everyone has a house. But we have enough fuel. We have enough food. We're on year 2 already. And the cows are still not in pasture. but we only have 5 people that don't have a house. So look, they already have a kid who's 15, so they moved out. They went over here. Where did they go? Did they die? Maybe they died in childbirth? I don't know if that person that was 15 was a forester. But they already had 2 kids and they had 3 kids. So see, here's a 22-year-old married an 11-year-old who's a student. We still have 5 people who need houses, and we have a lot, if you see, we have a lot that need a house. So we probably should build another house. So I'm going to build a little house, just a little one, over here by the lumber mill. And I think I saw, well, let's double check. Everybody has a house now. But see, that person could get married, that person can get married. Right here, the teacher's a slut because she's not married. Oh, see? Where did they go? Here. So, build a couple more houses, and then I'm going to call it. It's an hour. It's quite long. And then I'll just start back up here at the next video, and we'll continue next time. Have a good day.